Hello everyone and welcome back. So here we are at the range once again. We have a question from 1K Jones 05. So he bought a 7.3 gram solid kinetic balls. And for the Saber, then he was kind of wondering if he was kind of throwing his money away on this. Now, I took that as a challenge. Let's get out to the range. Really have not gotten out here as much as I wanted to. And I'm out here a lot later today than I intended. I had to take care of a little one that had some teeth pulled. So here we are. Finally get out to the range for a couple minutes at least. I have rain that's supposed to be coming in a couple hours. And I'm also chasing darkness because our range closes at 8. And we are currently getting closer to that time than I really care for. So hopefully the audio is coming out pretty good because I do have an earpiece in today. We do have some training projectiles here. We're going to start off with that. Then we have some regular alien play practice black, and then we also have our kinetic. Actually, these are the kinetic. This is regular. This is a regular 68-100 self-defense. And I also have, now these are supposed to have some sort of dye on them. So we'll see how this goes. I wanted to check it out because we're out here, we're having fun, and we're going to try and do this. Now I'm going to put the camera onto the table here because I got a second bench sitting here. So we're going to get this aiming out here, and then I'm going to get the marker going. Now, so being a little darker, hopefully this all works out pretty good. You guys are at a range here. Now I do have a piece of wood out here for a backstop, so that way I'm not going through a ton of targets. I just wanted one target, not so much to see exactly where I'm shooting, but just really making sure I have a good, safe place to aim, and we can see how well this acts. Now this is the training ones. We have not gotten to our kinetic. I wanted to shoot off a bunch of extra rounds prior to this. I should have grabbed some thumbtacks, but I didn't. So unfortunately, having our board up here, because this is a smaller board than what we had last time, just trying to get into this and having it up here. Now, so first round. All right. So I shot a couple extra and that went all the way through. So let's pick up our camera here using my phone like I did last time. Just trying to see what we got. Now I hit the berm a couple times. We are tearing through the paper pretty good. I was hitting a little high on this one. So being where I was, I'm hitting a little on the high side. And actually I need to make sure you guys can see what I'm looking at, instead of just kind of coming up and looking at it. So I've hit here a couple times, spaced out. Not the best, not the worst, and we are going to go from there. Oh, this is our heavy bag. We're going to wait on this one for a moment. We're going to go to our lighter stuff. We'll grab 7 of these, and we are going to load 7 of these up, and we will get this all set to go very quickly. These are actually loading easier than my training rounds. So my training rounds were sitting just a hair bigger, I think. Okay, well we got 7 rounds in there. One of the things I really wanted to try and do on this one, because you know we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna kind of stress test this a little bit here. All right, we got it loaded, and we're gonna take some shots. Now these might come back at me more so than the last ones. But we'll see how this goes here. All right. And that's all we got. So shooting them at a fairly faster rate compared to what we did last time. I am hitting. I don't know where they're kind of going on the ground here as we're kind of coming up against here. But just firing in quick succession, I'm hitting a lot more in here than I was before. I was hitting a little bit better with the last ones. I do have one round sitting down here. So I've got, let's see, there's one round down there. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. Looking around, there's a lot of shotgun shells and all that. I really don't see where the other ones went. Just kind of looking here. The good news is, with it being angled the way it is, it's not coming back at me. So I'm still standing a little bit off to the side just to make sure I keep myself from getting back into the line of fire. All right. Now we're going to grab our heavy kinetic. So, and let me just kind of say this. Whenever you're buying new rounds, I would say just buy essentially a box worth or whatever. See how well it handles with your individual hole puncher and kind of go from there. I don't think it's ever a waste of money trying different types of ammo. We just never know exactly how our hole punchers are going to handle them. So this is our 7.3 gram kinetic balls. So let's see how well it does. Now remember, from where I'm standing in that, and I'm sitting aiming a little bit more cross-eyed than I used to do, because I got issues with my what I always consider my good eye. So the fun's of getting older. All right, so here we go. We're going to start shooting. Okay, that's got a little bit more behind it. Now we're going to keep shooting at our target here. We'll see how much I obliterate it. Now this one, I'm not really looking down the barrel. I'm just trying to see how much of an arc it's doing. Okay, now that one just barely hit the paper. She arcs a little bit more, but all in all, not bad. So as far as the thought of, should you get it, should you not get it? You know, I don't think it's going to hurt. Now we just did 7 rounds. We've shot some other rounds in here. These are going a little bit more into the back here. The target doesn't look all that much worse for wear. I should have been marking these all along, but I'm not. I've got holes all over the place here. This paper is really tearing up. If my board doesn't want to stay up here anymore because it's just getting to be too much, you know, we're gonna have fun with it, and we'll just pull the board down, and we'll just kind of go from that point. But in the meantime, what we have to have some fun with are our red ones. So this is like a red dye, or it's supposed to be a red dye. So we're going to try and see how well this does. Now I'm willing to bet, because we're just hitting straight paper, it's not going to show up so well. So I don't want to hit the posts, because that is one of the big reasons why here today when we're doing this. All right, so, and we're going to see if we can't color the board. All right, and the board dies. All right, well, I guess we're going to shoot at the target after all, because we got a little bit of a wind here. So, and we're going straight on through. All right, that's all she wrote. Now, unfortunately, because we don't have the board, so I may have to reposition that board and go from there. Yeah, we have no paint on here whatsoever. So let's try and get that board back up here and go from there. Okay, so we got the board up, we got that refixed, we got the target up. Now we're going to use the red rounds again. We're going to see how well we do. So we're going to shoot this off and see how well she paints up, if at all. And I think, nope, okay. I don't think that's going to work. Alright, and the reason why it's not working is because our CO2 cartridge is finally dying. So, how many did we do? We did what, four magazines worth? With one small, what is it, 12 ounce cylinder of CO2. So that's not too bad in a lot of regards, at least not in my book. I'm going to load this back up here real quick. So we get the full fun effect of it all. Alright. Alright, and the magazine works a lot, or goes in a lot easier now that it's all kind of broken. Alright, here we go, shooting. Ooh. So, yes, this is fun. I thought that was one extra. Okay. So, getting our our board up here. We're painting our board. So it's kind of nice. Very, very nice to look at, to sit here and see that, yes. So we're painting it. So these might be nice to, you know, someone's breaking in, and then you can kind of paint them. You can kind of then mark them saying they are not the friendlies you're looking for. And then last but not least, now we do have the target, and the target's got not much on it. It's all kind of shredding. So we're just going to use the board at this point, and we're going to hit it again with the kinetic. And we'll do like maybe 3 magazines with the 7.3 gram kinetic rounds. So we can kind of stress test this, see how it works. Now remember, I'm doing this at about 20 feet or so. Oops. These are a little heavier. Actually, I'm going to walk back a little bit I got 5 rounds in here. I'm going to step back a little bit more, and then we are going to see how well this works. Alright, I am about another, say, 20 feet. So I'm aiming at the top. I'm hearing gas kind of coming out here. I don't know if it just wasn't sitting right or what. And then what we're going to do is we're going to hit 5 rounds of our standard. Now, like I said, I was aiming at the top with that one. Alright. I think that cylinder is shot. Nope. There's something going on here. Which is good. I'm happy to have something happen when I'm doing this not in a stressful situation. And it could just be that I didn't have this seated right. Because it seemed like it was really... My CO2 cylinder kind of went to pot on me. Which isn't what we really want to have happen, but I mean, it's going to happen occasionally. You know, it happens in paintball and all that, which is one of the old things that, oh shoot. I think the cylinders I have these are older cylinders. I think that these have been used. If we're going to find out. So this might kind of end what we have here, because I might have cylinders. The box is retaped. That's all right. So, yep, that's it. I'm out of. I dropped 2 more rounds. Okay, so I guess I'm out of air, but the long and the short of it, because I'm unfortunately grabbed the wrong box of cylinders. I grabbed an old box that was already open. So I feel like I'm letting you guys down a little bit. But these are all empty, unfortunately. Alright, well, the luck of the draw. It's an older box that I had gotten from my godfather, and unfortunately these are empty and used. I thought he had brand new ones in here because it was taped up, so I'm like I said, kind of feeling like I'm failing you guys. But my verdict, my thoughts on the 7.3 gram, just kind of as I pack things up here. I think they're good. You know, most of the time I think we're going to be close in when we're using this. I think we're going to be looking at home intrusions or whatever else, and I think it's going to work fairly well at that. Now, we did hit the board fairly decently at about 40 feet, so I think even if we're seeing 60 feet out, I think we are looking at a fairly viable system here. If you are stuck with non or less than lethal means at your fingertips. So okay. Now here's something that if you do run out of air, you can always keep your magazine empty of a CO2 cylinder. You can load it into your marker, then unload it, and then you're going to get about two rounds out at a time. So kind of a nice way to get that unloaded, because I really did not want to have a loaded magazine in the vehicle on my way home. So I did promise 1K Jones 05 that I would check this out. Now this is later. This is going to go up tonight yet. Later than I had intended it to go, but we're going to get her. We've got it all pretty well shot. We just have to get this kind of posted up and going from there. So it's shorter video, a fun video, always fun, always nice getting out to the range, especially when we get to look at, we have, as my keys jingle here, we have markers that are actually painting things. Now these are going to leave a little bit of a wallop. Here's a little bit of an indentation, not as much as what we had on some of the other ones. We do have this from some of our kinetic. I think that's a deeper hit here. So make sure we tear all this down so it's all nice and ready to go for the next individual that comes out here. Always trying to be nice, and that for the next individual. Unfortunately, we have a lot of clothespins sitting on the ground because people will kind of pull things apart and then they just grab another one. They won't put it together. I put a couple of them together that we were using here today, so I feel a little bit better about that. Always trying to leave things better than the way we found them. You know, one of the old things that we learned in Boy Scouts. And that's very much the thought process here today. We want to stay prepared. We want to be ready for the unfortunate things as you're looking down at the range, and that's the stand that we had the camera on. I always hope that none of this is never needed, that we're always kind of seen as the crazy people that, you know, are prepared for the world to have the sky fall on us, and the sky never falls. But if it does, hopefully we are a little bit prepared. Now, we will never be fully prepared. There's a part of me that says that no matter what we do, we will never be fully prepared, but we will do our darndest to be that way, and we will go from there. So with that being said, thank you so very much for joining me today. It's wonderful having you here. I hope you're doing well, and I'll see you in the next video.